Here we go again. You're listening to Eternal Lounge by Toby Trantner. I'd like to welcome to another episode. My name is Derek, and I am Endeavor Empire. Welcome to episode 4. Today, we will talk about relationships. There are lots of different types of relationships, but I'm only interested in one. This is for the women. The relationships I'm interested in are the women that have relationship with either a good man or not a good man. Today we're going to talk about the relationships of an abusive man and why they feel the need to control the ones that they love. Why do they hurt the ones they love? I want to tell you the definition of a true relationship. The relationship between two people in a way which they feel or behave towards each other. A relationship that is a close connection between two people. And what I mean by a close connection, romantically, sexually, mentally. But today I want to talk to the women about the relationship that you have that either you think it's not going the way that you want it to. You women have to understand you are stronger and more better than who you are. And I don't think any woman should take that lightly. You want to know what I mean by that? Well, what I mean is that I see a lot of relationships in this world. I see a lot of people that I know suffer at the hands of the ones that love them. You know, the women go through so much in life. They put up with so much in life. You know, women bear children. Women try to make sure their house is a happy home and a stable home. And there are some men, most men that I come in contact with, not everybody. So if you good men are listening, don't take it personally. Because there are a lot of good men in this world. Very few that you can find. But for my women, I see a lot of pain, a lot of sadness, a lot of heartache. And you have to ask yourself, is this relationship worth it? You know, I don't understand why women stay in these relationships and they knew what the gentleman was before they got into the relationship. I don't get it. But maybe they get into these relationships because they think they can change the person that they fell in love with. Maybe they see some potential in that person that they fell in love with, and that's fine. That's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I know you want to grow with this person. try to give this person the benefit of the doubt, and that's fine. But love relationships, trust relationships are hard to come by these days because there's so much influence. There's so much things that can easily influence a person. I'll speak to my own experience. From a standpoint, I was raised with nothing but women. My mother raised me. I didn't really know my father. And I kind of felt more sensitive to the needs of women. I don't disrespect them. I don't get out of line with them. Because I believe these women go through so much pain and so much heartache. When I was coming up, I'd watch my mom go through relationship after relationship. And all the while, she was just looking for happiness. You know, so I guess you got to go through a couple of rough patches to find that diamond in the rough. And my mother, she finally found her diamond in the rough. I couldn't be more happier. But women do so much to ensure the validity and the sanctity of their relationship because they want to be happy with that person. Now, sure, I see a lot of men who take care of their women. I see a lot of men that cater to their women the way they should. And that's just good upbringing. Or, if you're like me, you don't want to ever hurt a woman. It's nothing worse to me than seeing a woman cry. I have some people that I know because I don't really have a lot of friends, and this is probably the exact reason why I don't have friends. A friend of mine had a good woman, you know. He would always talk about her, but when he goes to work, it's a different story. Oh man, we got this bad one at work, man. What I wouldn't give to be with her. And my thought is, but you already have a woman at home. Why risk a relationship that you have a solid woman, a good woman, on lust? Well, just because you see her, you have to have her. That wasn't always my thinking. I come to think of, I've never thought about that like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I've always maybe looked at women and envisioned myself, be like, oh, she seems like a pretty good person. You know, I didn't wonder about the sex. I didn't look at the outside. My thing is, I looked at what was on the inside. Because appearances can be everything. You know, the problem with the world today is everybody looks at a female and they look directly on how good she looks. But they don't never think about what's underneath that. And some men don't even want to get to know that. Some women just want what I call is a trophy wife, a trophy girlfriend, or just a trophy. You know, there's really no mental attraction, but a sexual attraction. You know, I look at so much bullshit on Instagram and, you know, in the world, and, you know, these people that don't even choose out of love. They choose out of what they're compatible with. And when I'm talking about compatibility, I'm talking about money, your stats, who's the most popular person. I've never chose on love. Well, I never chose a woman that way. I've been through a lot of relationships that I thought would end well, but didn't end well. I didn't date a lot. I did have a lot of female friends. And not female friends with benefits, just female friends. That's because that's the way I was. My mother had a girls basketball team. She had a drill team, and I had a lot of sisters. But just because I had a lot of sisters, I didn't use that to my advantage because that's not who I am. And I think it's so bad that these men treat these women as if they don't even matter. They treat them like they're just here for now until the next best thing comes along. You know, my uncle used to be a womanizer. He would I kind of wanted to follow in his footsteps until I got older. I would always see him with a vast majority of women, friends. We'd go skating, and I idolized that. I thought, wow, I want to be just like my uncle and do what he's doing. But as time went on, as I got older, I started realizing, what do you get out of that? It's hurt. It's pain. It's not really satisfaction. I mean, I've done my share of dirt. I'm not innocent. And I can admit that. I've cheated. I've done wrong. But I've repented and I've atoned for that. And there's really no excuse for it. Now, I can say that me and my wife were separated, and what she did on her time, what I did on my time was different, but eventually in the end, we all came back to each other. I'm talking about if you're in a relationship and you love the one you with, don't hurt her. Don't hurt her. Women are strong, but they're fragile. Women are survivors. Men, you got to think about it. Or women, you got to think about it. Without women, there'd be no world. So, I used to work with a friend of mine, and for the life of me, she's a very gorgeous young lady. I didn't understand her logic because her boyfriend was in the next town over. She would drive a good 4 to 5 hours. And I would always ask her, why do you do that? She's like, oh, because I love him. I was like, but he doesn't come to you? Well, no, he doesn't come to me. He always wants me to come to him. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with that logic. And while I think there's something, that was going on, more behind closed doors, because if a woman wants you to come, if a man wants you to come to him, that means he's got time to plan. That means he knows when you're coming. So whatever he's doing, he can quickly get wrapped up in time for you to be there. Women are beautiful. Don't get me wrong, they're beautiful. But for the life of me, I just couldn't understand why. And I wasn't negative about it. I told her, I said, well, do you think that's a good idea? Because she had a car, but she traded up. She got a lease. Some of these lease cars, I'm not sure how they work, but she can only drive a certain amount of miles. And when that lease ran out, she'd go get another car so she wouldn't go over the miles. It's been a while since I seen her, but the last time I talked to her, and I said, well, what happened to, the dude that you were seeing? It didn't work out. She found out that he was cheating. And that's sad. That's sad. I mean, people cheat in this world, and I know there's a lot of women out there who are looking for a good man. Let me tell you something, women. Don't be so quick to let these men get the first cookie out the cookie jar, because it's not worth it. Some of these men only have one thing in mind, and what that one thing is that, oh man, I'm horny. I know I can get her. And what I don't like to hear from the women is, oh, it was the alcohol. No. I had a friend she had gotten pregnant with kids, and she would always blame it on the alcohol. I mean, she was just so in love with this dude, you couldn't tear them apart. I mean, this fool could have robbed a bank and could have had the cash in his house. She wouldn't have believed it. She had kids by him, got older, started maybe seeing him. I'm not sure if she was maybe seeing him for what he was, or come to find out, he didn't really amount to much. I had another friend that, oh my goodness, this dude that she was dating, he was a human lab rat. They do those studies and you get paid. And I would always ask her, I was like, man, you good with that? And it turns out she wasn't supposed to get pregnant because of the drugs in the system. On these clinical trials, you're not supposed to get pregnant. You're not supposed to have sex for X amount of days, and you're supposed to, just wait. Well, she didn't want to wait. She got pregnant. She had a kid by him. Here's the funny thing. He wasn't about nothing. Only thing he cared about, and he had 4 other children. 4 other children before her. I was like, for real? She's like, what? I was like, he's already got kids. So she's like, well, I'm leaving him. Okay, so she had the first kid. And I'd be damned if she didn't get pregnant by this fool again before the 6 months period that women have, after you have a kid, you can't have sex for X amount of days or X amount of months. She got pregnant again. So she was so infuriated with him because he wasn't doing what he's supposed to do. But you knew that he wasn't the man for you when you laid down with him. See, this is my problem. These women, you are so smart. You have the knowledge. You know what you want out of life. Don't let nobody take that from you. If you meet a guy, get to know that guy. They don't even date like this anymore. They got these damn Tinder apps where you swipe right, swipe left. That is the dumbest shit I've ever seen or ever heard. What happened to sitting down? What happened to passing notes? What happened to calling somebody? Now, it's like if you see somebody, 2 days later, y'all dating. And hell, you didn't even know you was dating them. You looking like, yeah, we're in a relationship now. Okay, so what I want to say to women is that be smarter. Be smarter. You make these men work for it. You make them put down for it. You want a man that will treat you right, that will respect you? See how he is. Because men have this code, bros before hoes. I don't believe in none of that shit. I don't care about none of that, because if you doing the bro before hoes thing, and I'm not calling nobody no hoe, but that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. You rather spend more time with your bros than your girl. Your girl is the one who's putting it down for you. Your girl is the one that's making sure you come home to a good house. She got your dinner cooked. She got it all laid out. When I would watch women, especially my mother, and I would watch my sisters grow up, and they would do so much for their significant other. They'd have the house clean, they'd have dinner on the table, the kids is fed, and she just waiting for her boyfriend or husband to get home to say, hey, let's chill. I got fam like that now. Treats his girl like shit. Treats her like shit. They're now jumping from place to place. They don't have a stable place. He doesn't have a stable job. They'd rather get that check once a month than to get up and get a 40-hour work week job. And why should it even be that way? It shouldn't be that. Men, damn all the hustling. If you a good hustler and you making money and you part of some rich cartel, hey, more power to you, because I don't get down that shit. I believe in 9-to-5 job myself, because I work 9-to-5 job. But that's just me. I want to work the 9-to-5 job because I want to take care of my wife and my beautiful children. I don't want my wife to feel like I'm out here hustling and she don't know when I'm coming home. Look, there are some hustlers that make that bread, that stack them bricks. And there are some that is just the lowest totem on the totem pole. I was going to say lowest food on the food chain, but y'all know what I'm saying. But why do that? If you're not making but a few bucks here and a few bucks there, that's what you like? And women, y'all should be like, this ain't what I want. I've seen more women, get fed up with that kind of relationship because it don't take you nowhere. You don't go nowhere. You don't move nowhere because your man is doing the same thing when you met him. If he hasn't changed in the 6 months you've been with him and you paying all the bills, you letting him use your car, he coming home all late ass hours of the night talking about he had a job. But wait a minute, what job? He ain't working. What the hell's he do? Is hustling all night? Maybe it is, maybe it didn't. I ain't knocking nobody that does hustling. That's your thing. I'm just saying to the women, if you want to set a better precedent, a better standard for yourself, put your foot down. Let these men know. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. When you put your foot down, And this is what I used to tell my sisters and their boyfriends or their husband. What you don't do, another man will. And when your girl decides to leave you and you see she's moved on and she's doing big things and she's got a dude that's treating her right, you looking like, damn, where did I go wrong? I'm gonna tell you where you went wrong. You went wrong because you was hanging out with your boys. You went wrong because you would always have time to go out and smoke weed or drink with your boys. You went wrong because you didn't pay no attention to her. You went wrong because she's always sitting in the house while you out kicking it. But it's wrong for a woman to go out and have fun, but the men can go out and have fun and with no consequence, zero consequence. But yet when the woman gets mad and says, well, I don't think that's fair, then the man wants to get all mad, even though your ass ain't putting a damn dollar on the table and no food, no nothing. But you got the audacity to get mad at your woman who wants to spend time with you. So when your woman gets upset, she gets angry, you trying to figure out, well, maybe she ain't the one for me. Maybe it's somebody else. I tell you what, you keep figuring that out. Meanwhile, she's going to move on. She's going to move on to bigger and better things. She's going to move on to bigger and better things. She's going to start doing things for herself. She's going to start seeing life in a different way. So this is what I don't like breaking up any relationship. I believe that your relationship can be worked out. If you give it your all, it can work out for you. And what I mean by working out, if you got counseling, you got prayer, you got Jesus, you got something, then it can work out. I'm not saying throw in the towel right then and there. This is what you women should do. If you're with a guy, you should get a piece of paper. You should write down the pros and cons. Or let's not do this. Let's write out the good and the bad. If the bad outweighs the good, it's decision time. Women, you should never stay with a man because you feel like you're not strong enough or you can't be with nobody else. There's always someone for somebody. The thing that upsets me or that kind of gets me not really frustrated, but I look at these women and they think they can't get nobody else. They think they can't, they don't deserve nobody else. But when people are telling you that, you deserve better. Now they're not some people. Now, if you got the wrong people in your ear talking about, girl, dump him, he ain't no good, I got a friend that can hook up with you and yada, 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 wooty woo. No. This is a decision that you must make on your own. And if you have a good friend to back you, let that friend back you. A good friend. Not a friend that's always in your business trying to get you hooked up with one of her homies, one of her dudes that ain't no good, or the leftovers, as some women would call it. But you got to move from that. I knew a young lady. Her husband would, smart guy. He has everything going for him. I think he does something with in the hospital. But he had a side piece that he would treat better than his own damn wife. Had a side piece. She's got a kid. She's out here. She had to hustle for her own new ride while he driving around a nice badass truck. Like, he didn't won the lottery. I mean, that's fine. If you can afford it, that's fine. But let me tell you something. I'm not going to put my girl in something, or she driving something raggedy, and you rolling around in gold, or you looking like Bishop Don Juan. But she kept holding on. She was like, I'm Catholic. I don't believe in divorce. Okay, I get your religion. You want to stay true to your religion. That's fine. But why keep going through this heartache? If you knew your dude is cheating on you, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, but if you can count and you run out of fingers to count on, something's wrong. Something's wrong. You know, and then the girl had the audacity to come to his house, to their home, where they had their family, and say, "He is mine. He's yours, but he's married to me." That's what I don't understand. Stop going after the damn woman. It is the man's fault, or the person that's cheating's fault. Y'all don't need to get upset with the woman. Either she did or she didn't know. And if she knew, then she's not a good woman. She really isn't. Because what goes around comes around. And I believe in that. What makes you think that if he leaves you and goes on to that other woman, that he won't do the exact same thing to her? The exact same thing. So, I mean, it got so bad where she would find key cards in his pocket, you know, to these lavish hotels, and, you know, these hotels that were just like, she ain't even been in these hotels. Like, these were nice. I mean, I don't know what the rate on it was a night, but you can best believe it wasn't no damn Motel 6. Found a key card to a cabin. A cabin. Damn, I ain't never been in no hotel cabin. I mean, what's that like? But she still stayed with him. My thing is this. I don't want you to leave the one that you're with. But if the one that you're with keeps doing this to you, and you know that he's doing it, and it ain't gonna never change, what's the point of you being there? Because eventually, in the end, somebody gonna get hurt. Somebody gonna get hurt. The ending result of that story, I don't know what happened to the young lady. I heard she passed away. I don't know what it was. I was sad to hear it, but I'm not sure if she was living right. I'm not sure what happened. But I don't wish death or ill will towards anybody. If anything, I want you to learn from what you did. I want you to be better. I want you to be better, and I want you to move on. If you got a wife at home, why are you looking at other women? Listen, I look at other women, but I don't sexualize other women. I say hi, bye, and I keep it moving. It's not a long, drawn-out conversation. I'm a truck driver. The places that I deliver to know that I have a wife. Her picture is on my phone. I show them, "Oh, that's your wife. She's beautiful." Yeah. Been married 24 years and still going. Now, if you think you can get away with it, you think you can get caught, not the way to go. Not the way to go. So, that relationship that they were in, I think he changed his ways. I don't know if he got scared, saw the light, or whatever, but he started appreciating his woman more. But it shouldn't even have to come to that. Every day above ground is a blessing. Every day above ground to see your wife, girlfriend, or family is a blessing. Why ruin that? I've never liked to see females cry, unless it was in a movie. That's it. You know, my uncle did it to my auntie. You know, and I felt so bad for her. Oh, God, I felt so bad for her. You know, because here he is out doing whatever, and your wife is at home with your kids. They didn't last. They divorced. Because he was so stuck in his ways and thought that he was... I don't know if he thought he was the best thing going, but he had a different woman ever so often. But he doesn't do that anymore. He changed. He changed and found God, found religion, and changed. It's hard to see that, because especially if you got kids, you know. If you got kids and kids are involved, that makes it harder. But it's just sad. You don't really want that for yourself. Don't be so in a rush to find love. Let it find you. When it finds you, you'll know. Look at yourself. You men, you didn't love her. You just didn't want to be alone. Or maybe she was just good for, your ego, just for the being there. Or maybe she made you feel better about your miserable life. I don't know. But you didn't love her. Because you don't destroy people that you love. You really don't. So, my message is to you beautiful women. Hold these men to a higher standard. You don't have to settle for someone because you think this is a last resort. I tell you what's weird. After I graduated high school, I attended a high school for 4 years. I graduated. And there were some people that didn't even associate in high school that I would never, ever would have thought they would have hooked up. Ever. When I seen them like years down the road, I'm like, you had a baby with who and what and why? When did this happen? I knew a girl who was a straight A student. I thought she was going places. I thought her life was going to be just the life of a good life. And she hooked up with a guy I knew that was no good, had a kid by him, and had this beautiful baby. But then when I last talked to her, she said he doesn't even see his kid. I don't know if he was ashamed because it was an interracial relationship kind of thing. And, when you true to your boys, oh man, well, you with a white woman, you should be with a black woman. Let me tell you something. Love has no color. Love has no color. But anyways, she moved. She left. And she found her prince, or shall I say her king. And now he still has kids, but he doesn't communicate with this kid. I don't get it. But I don't think you should settle for somebody just because you think, well, I don't know what you think. I don't know if you think it's a last resort. I don't know if your self-esteem goes down after a certain point in time, but I'd rather be alone than to be with somebody that makes me miserable. I'd rather be alone than somebody who just always does something that's not benefiting me or the relationship. When you find that person, you hold on to them. Loving people is hard work. It's never easy. And a relationship is not easy. If your relationship is perfect, I can't say I want some of that because I don't. If you have a perfect relationship, there's definitely something wrong on the inside. Men shouldn't control women. It should be the other way around. When they say this is a man's world, it is not a man's world. It is a woman's world, because without the woman, us men wouldn't be here. So, I gotta say, after you reach a certain point in life and you mature or you decide to do things, there are some people I know, like myself, I kind of stuck to my standards. I knew what I wanted at a young age. I knew what kind of life I wanted. Now, the only thing I wish I can do different, if I would have paid more attention in school, then yeah, but I don't live in regrets. I love my wife. I love my children. I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. And like I said, your relationship will be tested through the trials and tribulations, but this is how you come out of it. And this is what I also don't like. If you men have these good women at home, why are you spending your time with another woman? I don't care if she's at work. I don't care if you know her from around the way. You have a woman at home. When I go to work, I can't wait to get home. I see my wife, my children, and I think, wow, I love it. It's beautiful. Wouldn't have it any other way. But that's my life. I try to tell women that if they want my advice, I just give them advice. I don't go off the deep end and say, you should dump him. and fights. No, I want you guys to make it work. But if you can't make it work because you putting in 250% and he only putting in 10%, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. You're gonna be happy. You're still gonna be miserable. Listen, I am a firm believer that the man should always be taking care of his woman. If the woman wants to help her man and put down on some things, hey, that means you got a good working relationship. You know, but you should never take a woman's money at all. I knew this when I was in the South and I used to work for Renaissance. I knew this young lady, nice young lady. She had a kid. Her husband had some kind of drywalling business. I don't know what it was, but the trucks he had were pretty badass. And I don't know if she's ever been around black people or sisters, but it damn sure showed. Young white lady. I'm not going to say her name, but she would always come to work and she would be like, well, I don't have any money to eat, so I always have to bring my lunch to work. And one of the other female coworkers was like, well, why don't you have any money? She's like, oh, I give my checks to my husband. And she's like, excuse me? I don't know if this young lady didn't know that that's not the way it be, but this dude had a successful business and he's taking his wife $600-700 check every week. For what? What the hell for? You got a successful business. But when the white girl started talking to the sister, and the sister's like, nah, girl, let me tell you what you need to do. And they didn't tell her wrong. They said, me and my husband, we share the expenses. It's good to share expenses. Which, yeah, it is good. It is good. But let me tell you, when she found that out, things started changing from there. Dude came to the job, wanted to know who was speaking to his wife. Sister reached out. Yeah, that was me. What's going on? When he found out the sister was a sister, he kind of backed off. You know, she was like, I don't think you should be taking my money. Your business successful. I mean, this dude was clocking, I think he made close to almost 20 grand a month. Why in the hell would you need your wife's money if you got a successful business? I mean, I guess in the South, roof shingling is kind of common, you know, with the hurricanes and all. But months later, she started doing her own thing. Got herself a new car, taking care of business, got her hair done, nails done. And the funny thing is, he started treating his wife like his equal instead of some tenant living in his home. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. If you sitting at home and your dude is waiting on you to pay him or for you to take care of him, what the hell kind of relationship is that? If that's a relationship that you want, hey, that's fine, do you. But I gotta say, that gets old. That gets old real quick. Because while you shelling out money for him, what's he doing for you? You make sure he look right. He right. He looking good. He got the latest kicks on. Or he got the latest shoes and the latest fashion. The latest iPhone. Meanwhile, what you got? What you got? And if you say, not really say no, but say, if you want to come to an agreement and we can do this, we need to work at this together. And when I say work at this together, he puts in his share. If you want to contribute or he wants you to contribute, then you guys talk about it. I've been married for 24 years. I've never in my lifetime, when my wife is working, I've never asked her for any money, because I believe it's always up to me, the man, to take care of the household and to provide for his family. Call me old fashioned, but that's what it means to me. And if my wife wants to work and she wants to contribute, then she can contribute. If she wants to work and take care of other things like the kids or do something for the kids or the house, hey, she can do that. She can do that. You know, I'm not angry about that. I don't get mad at that. If you got to get mad at your woman because your funds or your money's not right and you not trying to make it work with her, but you want to keep taking everything that she has and she has nothing, but you have everything, My man, you need to take a look at yourself in the mirror. What I always tell men is this: think about how you grew up. If you've seen your mother struggling, or if you struggle with your family, but your dad did the best that he could, why shouldn't you pay that? Why shouldn't you be doing that? Why shouldn't you? I mean, I know a young lady now. I mean, it's ridiculous. Her man goes out, runs amok, makes up a bill that he can't afford, but he looks to her for the money. No. So women, what I'm saying is, you gotta be in control. If he can go out and he can do what he wants to do, you should be able to do that. If he makes you lose your family, lose your friends, lose your confidence, lose your self-esteem, or lose your happiness, then you need to lose him. Real talk. You need to lose him. Let him go. There's always somebody better out you. You deserve better. You are better. I don't care how old you are, what age you are. Well, hopefully you're an adult, because I can't really speak to teenagers about this, because teenagers, it's a different persona of life, and that's another show. But your man should be waking up every day to you, looking at you, and thanking God that he has you. Because I thank God every day for my wife, because there were some women that I thought I would have ended up with, but thank God that I didn't, because their mindset's a little bit different, and they're not in tune with the goals that I have for a family guy such as myself. Family guy. No, I'm just joking. But I always appreciate what I have at home, because if I didn't appreciate my wife, somebody else will. Now, do I want that? No. I want to be the best husband, the best father, or the best son that I can be. I want to make my parents proud. I want my mom to be proud of me. I want her to say I raised a good man. And that's what I also don't understand about men. When they see that the ones that they love are going through it, their sister or their mother, then they try to put on that you don't need him. But you turn right around and doing the same thing. What's going on with your mom and your sister? You doing the same thing to your girl. That's not right. That's not fair. If you're giving out that kind of advice, you should practice what you preach. Because let me tell you something. I give out advice. I don't expect people to listen to me. I'm not a wise man or a truth seeker. I'm just me. This is just what I was, raised with, or what I was born with, or what I saw and what I didn't want to happen. And I didn't want that to happen. After watching my mom go through what she went through, watching my uncle do what he did, I didn't want that. Now, I've made a strayed and done some things that I shouldn't be doing, but I got myself back on track. I have 6 beautiful children with my wife. I didn't really want no kids by nobody else, because it's just me. I didn't want kids by different women. And that's no shade towards any woman. None whatsoever. I just want you to be happy. When you're happy, things start to go right. A friend of mine can't understand why things aren't going right for her. And I was like, well, honey, you change men like you change drawers. I mean, you got a new one in here every day. And then you got kids. The men she brings over, she's trying to change them into father figures. And they don't want that. They just want the woman. If a man can't love you for you and your kids, let him go. Let him go. Move on. If you want to keep dealing with what he's doing, not treating you right, coming in all late hours of the night, not putting in on anything or helping you out as a family, paying other attention to other people instead of you, let him go. Let him go. It's funny because for the life of me, I can't figure out who this young lady was, but I had seen her at a gas station. And I seen her at a gas station and she's like, Derek? I was like, yeah. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know who she was, and she, for the life of me, the whole time we were talking, I still couldn't figure it out. And she was like, oh, how you doing? I was like, I'm good, you know. I was like, she's like, what's new? I was like, oh, you know, got my wife, kids, and, you know, just loving life. And she just kept staring at me. And I was like, why are you staring at me like that? She's like, I should have took you when I had the chance. I was like, okay. And by this time, I still didn't know who she was. I didn't know who she was. But she told me that I wish I could have snatched you when I had the chance. I didn't even know she was interested in me. And that's the thing. I never know if people are interested in me till after the fact. You know, we done grown up now, you know, we damn near pushing the age limit and we done moved on. Because I see a lot of females that I used to go to school with, seeing them like that. And they would always tell me this. I say about 12 women that I've seen from high school would always tell me that. But when they find out I'm married and they see my wife, they're like, oh, okay, you know, I'm so happy for you. But then when word gets back to me, and through one of my sisters, you know, she said she should have hooked up with you and all this other stuff. And I was like, I didn't know who she was. But that doesn't give me a big head. That doesn't give me a reason to say, oh, you know, girl, you know, even though I'm married, you know, we can, you know, do some things on the side now. That's not me. That's not me. Now, that's what some men would like to do, but that's not me. I can look at women and have a civilized conversation without demeaning them in a sexual way, because I know what I have at home. And if your husband or your boyfriend can do that, you got a good one. If you set your husband or boyfriend up and he don't pass the test, well, we got to talk, because if he does it again, you should change some things. And when you change things, he'll see where you're coming from. You know, I tell women, put your foot down. Make these men respect you. If you're a good enough woman and he wants to keep you, trust and believe, he's going to be there for you. So many women I see are scared to leave. You know, scared to be alone. You know, scared that they can't make it on your own. You can make it on your own. As long as you got your family, you got a good friend support, a good church base, you can make it on your own. You don't need him to keep you down on the sidelines while he goes out and have his fun. Because while he's having his fun, I'm going to tell you right now, he ain't thinking about you. But you sitting at home thinking about him and what he's doing. And then when you call him, he say, he'll give you some excuse, and then he'll hang the phone up with you right quick. That's how you know something's going on. And then when you accuse him of cheating or whatever, he's so quick to get defensive and, you know, all upset, you know, oh, no, this, that, and the other. But his phone rings damn near every minute of the hour, every night. I mean, he ain't no on-call doctor. He ain't no police detective. I mean, he ain't the president. Well, then you don't think the president's phone rings like that all night. But you should question it. I'm not saying go crazy. I'm not saying get ridiculous. I'm not saying, you know, threaten him with a knife. Question it. Sit down and talk to him and let him know how you feel. And if he takes it into consideration, say, yeah, we can work on that. And you guys start working on it, then it's good. And if you don't work on it, if you're working on it and he's not, then you know what time it is. You know what time it is. It's time to move on. It's time to do better things for yourself. It's time to seek a better life. Your life shouldn't be chaotic. It shouldn't be stressful because you're trying to figure out how you can get better. You're trying to figure out how you can make him better. Don't worry about him. Worry about yourself. If you want to worry about him and he wants to work with you, then let him work with you. And when you guys are working together and everything is just good, then it's all good. You know, you got nothing to worry about. But you got to put your foot down. You got to let him understand. Again, I'm not saying go crazy. I'm not saying take a bat up to his head or anything like that. I'm not saying stalk him. None of that. You make sure that he sees you, that he pays attention to you, that he loves you, that he's there for you, that he comforts you in any possible way that you desire to be comfort. You know, you tell him. And I hope he feels the same way about you. Because if he say, oh girl, get out of here with all that love shit. He could be just joking, or he just could be a man that don't express his feelings. There ain't nothing wrong with that. It's all good, you know? So we're getting ready to close this out here. But I want you women to understand you are better than what you are. You are truly a remarkable woman. You're a phenomenal woman. You're a blessed woman. You're a good woman. And good women deserve good men. Good women deserve to be happy. Good women deserve a life that they can be proud of and that they can just gloat about on a day-to-day basis. So, for you men, the next show is coming up for y'all. Y'all know what time it is. This is just for the women. But if your man is listening and you guys decide to think, let's talk about it. Just talk. You don't need to yell, argue, fuss and fight. If you want your husband or the one that you're with to change, just talk about it. And if you see that he's not changing, you got some decisions to make. Again, I'm not telling anybody to break up with nobody. Not telling you to divorce nobody. But if that's where it leads to your happiness and your split is amicably mutual, then hey, that's good. That's good. But don't let the outside world or people that aim to do you harm influence you. Let these people know, hey, no, this is me. Because while you got that friend could be going through so many relationships, it's not good, but you try to give her advice and she's not taking it. Maybe that's the way they want. I want happiness. I want peace. And I found that peace. Found that peace a long time ago back in high school with my wife, my beautiful wife. And I've never been happier. I love her. I love her. I love my kids. I love her more than she'll ever know. And we started from pretty much the bottom. But our love over time got stronger and stronger. And we developed an unspeakable bond in my mind that can't be broken. Yeah, it's temptation out there. But you got to be smart and think. Because this is what I always do. Even though you see a woman, I don't be like, well, good, test the waters. No, I don't do that. I just think about the one I have at home and what she means to me and what she means to my family and what she does for this family. She's a hustler, a go-getter who would give you the shirt off her back. Well, not off her back, but maybe take it to the store and get a shirt. But that's a woman that I love. I don't ever have the urge to try to test the waters. Because you never know. That person may not be who you thought that person is. One must project an image of success in order to succeed. And when that image is projected and you find out that it's not the image that you had in mind, all is lost. You find yourself thinking about where you went wrong or what you should have did right. When you truly care for someone, their mistakes never change your feelings because it's the mind that gets angry, but the heart still cares. Still cares. I want y'all to think on that as we get ready to close this out and move on to another chapter. Game dog. Chapler. Chapler. So my beautiful women, I don't care who you are, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, Mexican. I can't translate any of this, so hopefully you guys got English. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. So as we leave you, remember, tough times don't last forever. You know, if you want happiness, you can achieve that happiness. You can put your mind at ease. You can put your mind at rest. Take a look at yourself. Take a look at your relationship and decide if this is where you want to be. If it's not where you want to be, hey, you got some decisions to make. And when you make those decisions based on either you talking to him, or if he doesn't want to listen, you know, kind of politely tell him, this is a decision I've made for myself. I feel that I'm going nowhere. I feel that I want to be something more. And if you want to be something more with me, please take that journey with me. Just come with me. Let's be something together. As we get ready to part, I'm going to leave you with a nocturnal jam. The artist is Sarah, the illusionist. So please, remember what I said. Take care of each other. Love each other. Stay blessed. Stay grateful. I would love to hear your comments, your feedback. Drop me a line. d6empire357@gmail.com. But for now, I am Derek, and I am one half of Endeavor Empire. Take care of yourself. Stay blessed. We'll see you next time, or talk next time.